Welcome. Excuse my laundry. Welcome, everybody, to the show. My name is Stuart Davis, a flawed man of God, a humble parishioner and white T-shirt wearer uh, at a small church just outside of Richmond, Virginia. I'm not a pastor, not a biblical scholar, haven't been in seminary. Not trying to get you to join my church or donate to any special cause. What I'm here to do is talk about God, talk about Jesus, talk about the Holy Spirit, talk about the Bible, talk about Christianity, talk about a wide variety of different topics, issues, and current events, and give you my perspective on them, one that I think is reflective of your average Christian guy. I've been a Christian all my life, 41 years, non-denominational Protestant. I don't subscribe to any particular doctrine or denomination. I'm just in the Word daily, trying to do it better each and every day. Sometimes I'll get it right. Often I'll get it wrong. But no matter what, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, if you're hearing me, you can count on getting my honest takes on whatever it is that we're talking about. So, if you are new to Christianity, if you are seeking Christianity out, if you are Octavia saying hi in the chat, if you are looking for meaning, if you are looking for Jesus, thinking that maybe finally you found the missing piece, you found someone to believe in, you found a place to put your faith, welcome to the show. Hopefully you'll find what you need. And I'm sure that I am dropping in and out. Internet's been all right, I'm gonna put the normal introduction on pause tonight. The normal introduction, it's not your connection, it's not anybody else's. I'm getting the low connection or unstable connection sign up here. Internet's been spotty ever since the storm came through, and I don't know if it was a reason for it or if it isn't a reason for it. We lost power a couple times last night, and there we go. Should be back. Should be back. Got all sorts of distractions tonight. It's life, man. It's life, folks. I hope you're all doing great. Yeah, sorry, guys. I was getting the low, and it's back. Unstable connection. Getting unstable connection sign. And we've been having internet issues all day at the house. Maybe, Steve. It's just a little rocky right now. Last night, storm rolling through. Pretty loud storm. Like I said, lost power a couple of times, but it didn't go out long. But it was enough that like I said, if that power flickers, resets the router, it was gonna be a pain in the butt if it happened on stream and the storm was moving through right around the time I was supposed to be streaming. So I just called it early instead of trying to make it work. I decided let's just drop back and punt. You're welcome for the community post. Try to do that more often so that y'all guys think, oh, Stuart should be streaming tonight because he hasn't told us otherwise. I'm trying to be more diligent about that. I want to be better about that to you guys as listeners, as subscribers. Right? Just to say, hey, don't worry about tuning in. You had the group but expected a notification. Yeah. Just to do that more often. Now, that's not to say I'm going to do it every time because something might come up and just draw me away for a while. Yibbity. going on, Yex? All right, so let's get to Jenny, Steve, Matt, Octavia. So I should do it this way: Jenny, Steve, and Octavia. Matt and Yex. Hung out with your cousin a little bit, Octavia, yesterday. Your cousin M. Me and my wife and our middle kid. Yeah, me and my wife and our middle kid met her and her mama for lunch yesterday. I don't know how to. I don't know. I think it is what it is. Yikes. Anyway, met them for lunch yesterday. Had a good time before the storm came through. So, anyway, we're going to finish Proverbs tonight. Hopefully everything's going well with you guys. Yex, good to see you. Good to see you. We are back. You might be happy. We are back in the amplified translation, having finished the Psalms, the different Psalms. And yeah, so let's figure out where we left off. Alex Moore's lurking. Not napping tonight. Here we go. First, in T1. I'm going to be reading some of this. I'm going to be trying to keep an eye on the connection. Let me know, you guys, when y'all lose me. If and when y'all lose me, what I'm talking about, so I know where to back up to. If you don't mind. But I'm back on potato now. This is trying. Naked I came into this stream, and naked I shall depart. There we go. All right. Why does it keep doing this? All right. I'm just going to go with it. Proverbs 21. He who despises his neighbor's sins against God and his fellow man, but happy. I'm sorry. Let me reread that because that didn't come out the way it's supposed to. Didn't put the right inflection in it. He who despises his neighbor sins against God and his fellow man. But happy, blessed, favored by God is he who is gracious and merciful for the poor. It's got me all messed up. Here we go. He who despises his neighbor sins against God and his fellow man. Well, yeah. Hatred and resentment, not feelings we're supposed to feel towards our neighbor or a brother, whether it be brother in Christ or somebody, brother or sister in Christ, or somebody near to us. If we're expecting ourselves to be able to extend grace to people, that includes people we might not like, but if you despise someone and so deeply resent them that that's where you're feeling, you are not extending to them the same grace that is extended to you, that you might expect God to extend to you or might want God to extend to you. And I'm not trying to make this into a love the sinner, hate the sin deal here. I've never really been comfortable with that saying. But we should always be open. Always be open to extending grace to our fellow man, whether they've done us wrong or not. But happy blessed and favored by God is he is gracious and merciful to the poor. Sometimes we happen to be blessed financially, blessed with privilege. And I know that using the word in that context has um, implications, right? Sometimes we have access. Sometimes we are blessed with means. Maybe that's the best way to say it. The blessed with means. Does that mean that God intends for us to hoard it all for ourselves? No. No, we want to spread blessings around. That doesn't mean you have to give everything away. This isn't preaching uh, com- um, this isn't preaching forced poverty. This is preaching that gracious and merciful to the poor. Help them out, lift them up. That doesn't necessarily mean give everything you need to the poor. Though Jesus at some point did say that to somebody when they asked what they could do to be more righteous. But I think there was an underlying issue that Jesus was illustrating when he did that. That wasn't necessarily directed at uh, material wealth. There are people who are struggling to get by. And though maybe they are on fire for God, you helping them out um, can be a world of difference for how much easier you can make things for them, or how much more enjoyable you can make things for them. Good, an elder at my old church likes finding people in need around Thanksgiving to give turkeys to for Thanksgiving. A friend of mine who used to go to who goes to the church we go to now, went to the church we went to. We just left. Runs a ministry, created one ministry, has now started another ministry, both outside, um, both completely independent of the church, but based on his faith, on his own, as outreach to the homeless. And outreach to homeless is not just folks who don't have who are poor and can't afford to live somewhere. There is a huge mental illness issue, a huge mental illness population within the homeless community. And the things that he does and the fulfillment he gets out of having those, that to me might be the best illustration of this. Happy, blessed, and favored because he is gracious and merciful to the poor in spirit, poor physically, financially, poor emotionally. It's hard to get more poor in America in all those categories than the mentally ill who are homeless. And this gentleman makes a world of difference to these people's lives. And that's why if this channel ever did get monetized, I have said 90% of whatever money came in through this ministry was going to charities. That's the number one. That is the first place I'd start. Is with him. Right there with his charity. And I'm not going to advertise it a lot here. You guys aren't in the area. You aren't going to know. But what he does He doesn't just get other people to do it. He goes out and does it. He knows these people. He talks about them. He gives them um he remembers them to other people who didn't even know they exist. You'll see it on Facebook. If you were friends with him, you'd see it on Facebook. Hey, so and so passed away. Fought the good fight. Say some information. Give what he knew about him, how much he enjoyed his company, etc. Sorry, folks. Lots of lots of interruptions, a lot of distractions. Um, Today is just the way it is right now. Anyway, suffice to say, um, that to me is the best example of what I see and what is encouraged in Proverbs 21. Don't hate your neighbor. You can disapprove of them. You don't have to hang out with them. Don't hate them. Don't resent them. But look out for those in your community who are hurting and struggling. Because I promise you, it is that type of outreach is fulfilling. Sorry that sorry that everything's so choppy, connection wise and in my train of thought. Do they not go astray who devise evil and wander from the way of righteousness? But kindness and truth will be to those who devise good. Yeah. Look, hang on a second. How am I coming across to you guys? Is my connection stable or not? Because I keep getting the unstable connection. So now I'm insecure about it. Tolerable. You're just glad you don't live in my head, choppy. Oh, this is frustrating. Frustrating and trying. Because this is good stuff. I'd rather this not be choppy. This is some good stuff that we're talking about. Do they not go astray who devise evil and wander from the way of righteousness? But kindness, truth will be to those who devise good. If you live in evil, if you um if you just make it your habit to live sinfully and ignore any attempt at doing better, you will go astray. You will find yourself doing that. If you just think, oh, well, if you take for granted salvation, if you take for granted God's commandments and you just think, look, I'm saved no matter what, or I know that I'm just not going to be able to figure this out and fix this problem. I'm just going to do it, hope for the best. Doesn't matter. That will pull you astray. Kindness and truth will be to those who devise good. Work towards righteousness. Work towards doing what is right, what is good, what is wholesome. Try to leave those bad things behind you. Don't wallow in it. Don't sulk in it. Don't don't get comfortable in it. You will not like where that can take you. And you should not like that it separates you from God, from righteousness and from where God wants you to be. Be on the other side of that. In all labor there is profit, but mere talk only to poverty. I love this. Um, the old saying, money talks, right? This is about not just talking about something. I'm sorry. This is talking about, for lack of a better way to say it, just talking about doing something. Action leads to success. Talking is just talking about it is never going to get you there. And we can talk about it in a physical sense, an ethics sense of, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to put my head down, work as hard as I can, and try to be successful. Or you can say, yeah, I got a job, I'm going to do it, but really, and just talk about working, talk about doing your best, and being diligent and doing what's expected of you. But instead, just showing up and goofing off. There's a difference between the two. Or we can look at it from a spiritual aspect. Are you going to get right with things? You're going to fix that sin that you are struggling with? You're going to address it? You're going to take matters into are you going to pray about it? Do what you can to change the environment around you, that maybe you're not tempted so much. What are you doing? Or are you just going to say, I'm just going to be better? Is it going to be like a New Year's resolution where it's like, I'm not going to do this year? Are you just going to say it? Or are you going to do it? If you labor to be righteous, it's going to pay off. If you labor to be better, to better yourself and do good, it's going to pay off. But if you just talk about it, that spiritual purse of yours is going to be a little empty, a little overdrawn. The crown of the wise is their wealth of wisdom, but the foolishness of close-minded fools is nothing but folly. So the crown of the wise is their wealth of wisdom. What makes them wise, what shows other people that they're wise, is this wealth of wisdom that they have. The fact that when you listen to them, you go to them for advice, or you just watch them. We'll get to that in a second, buddy. You just watch them in action. You hear them when they talk about things. It radiates, radiates from them. The foolishness of closed-minded fools is nothing but folly. I guess instead of a crown, you could envision a jest hat. The fools, the court fool. Of course, the court fool is supposed to be uh, not actually foolish, just going around pointing out things sarcastically. But you get what I mean here. The dunce cap. That's what you get out of this. Dropping bad now. Let's see what I'm. Jeez, it's not even. Facebook isn't even showing me. Oh, it is showing me live. Okay. All right. How am I coming through? Let's see. Let's see if it'll let me do that. I'm sounding okay right now. I'm listening on Facebook. I was listening on how I listened on Facebook Live. I sound okay at the moment, but we'll see how it lasts. I don't know what's going on. I think Xfinity's having issues. Their name says, I tell my students that being righteous is being right with God. If you work to be right with God, everything else works. Right. And you don't sweat. If you're right with God, you're not sweating things that you normally would. You're not as obsessed with what's material. You're not as obsessed with celebrity status, fame, and fortune, and power, all this stuff, because you understand that all this stuff is temporary. All this stuff is of the world. And it makes it easier that when you have it, you're not worried about losing it, so that you can use that to further the kingdom of God. Use that wealth, use that platform, use that popularity. And if they want to listen, great. If they don't, that's on them. But you're out there spreading the gospel, spreading the good news as well as you can and as loud as you can. A truthful witness saves lives, but he who speaks lives is treacherous. I mean, to me, this is a commentary on communication, right? One of the things I appreciate most from people, professionally and personally, is communicating, and that means honest communication. The more I know about what you are trying to get across, about what you need, about whatever, the more I am able to react honestly and helpfully and do things to further the relationship, to further um, whatever we're working on, all these things. Truthful witness can save lives. It can especially save lives of the wrongly accused. But a truthful witness can tell people about dangers to avoid. They can They can help advise people to make good decisions. Just telling the truth goes a long way. You speak lies, you get people in trouble. You set people up for failure. You can find yourself in a situation where what you've told somebody has caused them to put other people in a dangerous position. Or should I say, in this case, treacherous. And that doesn't mean if you're lying trying to save your own skin or somebody else's, or if you're lying because you have an intent to harm somebody, just be honest. High trust, low context. In the reverent fear of the Lord, there is strong confidence, and his children will always have a place of refuge. I like this one. We've had a couple of proverbs where it really mostly focused on bad here in Proverbs 14. We're mostly focused, didn't seem to have a good side to it. It was just discussing the bad. This seems has to a just focuses on the good. In the reverent fear of the Lord, there's strong confidence. You respect the God, you understand him as well as you can. You you try your best to do what is righteous, being right with God. That gives you a bit of confidence. Strong confidence. I shouldn't say bit. Give you strong confidence. A good feeling that you are on, for the most part, the straight and narrow. And his children will always have a place of refuge. God is looking out for you. Doesn't mean he's blessing you with fortune and fame and all the things your heart desires. But if you're being right with God, that stuff doesn't matter to you. But there is a place for you to trust that God can do things and affect your help calm your anxiety, dispel your worries, because you've got the faith to trust in him. The reverent fear of the Lord that leads to obedience and worship is a fountain of life, so that one may avoid the snares of death. Like it. This is another one kind of following up with 26. Fearing God, respecting God, worshiping him, obedience to him, just a whole package, right? God, appreciating who God is, what he represents, what he's done for you, and taking that mentality. God, you created me. You didn't just create me, you created my loved ones around me. You have blessed me with what I have. Especially for me, I feel overwhelmingly blessed. You've blessed me. You've done all these things for me. And in spite of the fact that I have sinned against you, that I have sinned against my fellow man who you also created and loved, it's it puts me in a place where I strive and desire to love you better, obey you more, and worship you from the bottom of my heart, because you have had the love for me to sacrifice yourself for us. Jenny saying, right, I am driving right and it's lagging for me, my service provider. No, it's me. It's me. Catch the replay. I hope the replay comes through better. And safe. Also, good to see you. That kind of mentality is a fountain of life, is that it might avoid the snares of death, the death of your soul. Death of your salvation, the death of those things. It's amazing how much love reciprocated to God is a cure, or is an ingredient to the cure for our iniquities. Because that's what God wants to see back from us. Love, devotion, obedience, worship, respect. All things that you would think you should have for God that has done so much for us as he has. In a multitude of people is a king's glory, but in a lack of people is a pretentious prince's ruin. I wonder if this is I wonder if this is coming from a personal place for Solomon. In a multitude of people is a king's glory, but in a lack of people is a pretentious prince's ruin. Feel like they're starting to go over my head again. Oh, crap. Let me get that back up here. I accidentally closed the wrong window. There we go. That back up here. Where were we at? 28. It's not. That's not. Proverbs has been difficult to find ideas on. Wisdom to son? No. Well, if you don't have anybody who will stand by you, it proves you are not a good leader. If you are a good one, people will come. Ah, okay. I like it. And a multitude of people is a king's glory. So what Nath is saying here is, if you find people following you and believe in you, that multitude represents the glory, or that multitude is what helps signify what a king is, and he can find glory in that. But not being able to lead folks, not pulling people together, if you're trying to be a leader, will show other people how you weren't actually cut out to be a leader in the first place. This is kind of what we saw between David and Saul. Saul, initially popular, and when David came along, Saul's inability to find security in what he was doing. I haven't seen one on Bible Gateway, Matt. Comparison mode on Bible Gateway. I haven't seen one. If you were able to find one, let me know. If it's got one on here or if it's got one on another thing. I wish it just had more annotations. What I need to do is bring my CSV Apologetics Bible, just the hard copy, and bring that with me. But what we see an example of what Nernaev is getting out of this is with Saul. Initially popular. David comes along, is popular as well. Saul's screwed up a little bit. He's screwed up a little bit. And what turns out to be his weak leadership has people flocking more to David. And where you can see Saul did not do a good job, and why David was so popular with people, even though Saul was supposed to be the king. And David, for the most part, not always, but for the most part, found allies wherever he was going. Here's one for me to stew on. He who is slow to anger has great understanding. Top left icon with 2 pages. What we got? Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, I went too far to the top. Add a parallel. Ah, okay. Matt, you want to give a do you want to give a recommendation on what we compare it to? Now I've got the Niv. Where are we at? Ah, okay. Yeah. A large population is a king's glory, but without subjects, a prince is ruined. Okay. That does a little bit better job. Let's do the ESV. Seems to be popular with some of you guys. Oh, the Niv seems to be better on this. And a multitude of people is the glory of a king, but without people, a prince is ruined. That seems a lot. Sounds a lot closer to amplified. But NIV here actually, I think, does the best job kind of illustrating what Nernaev is pointing at. A large population is a king's glory, but without subjects, a prince is ruined. We'll stay here for a little bit. We could switch out the comparison from time to time. He who is slow to anger has great understanding and profits from his self-control. But he who is quick-tempered exposes and exalts his foolishness for all to see. Yep. All right. As somebody who can be quick-tempered from time to time, even if I've gotten much better at reining it in, I have found myself mouthing off and, like I said, exposing myself for being upset, exposing myself for not considering things, looking a little dumb. And like Nernaev admits, I'm right there. I've done stupid stuff when if I took a second, it was not a big deal or hard. Or I've said stupid things where if I took a minute to consider them, I could have better communicated it or not said it at all. Slow to anger, great understanding, profits from his self-control. It's wisdom to be that way. It's a wise shows that somebody has wisdom, that they act this way. You find yourself not letting your mouth get you into trouble, not letting your actions get into trouble. You were able to make more friends, network better. People have more respect for you. You make better business decisions, etc. It builds on itself. Profits from your self-control. Better reputation. Your quality of life is just better, as opposed to just popping off whenever. A calm and peaceful, a tranquil heart is life and health to the body, but passion and envy are like rottenness to the bones. All right, let's see if you find somebody who uses a different word from passion. All right, Niv says, heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. Heart at peace gives life to the body. Yeah. Peace of mind. Peace of mind with God. You know, we talked, that goes back up here earlier. Where is the Oh, here it is. Strong confidence. His children will always have a place of refuge. Very similar. Heart at peace. Give life to the body. Less stress. Physically, peace of mind. Stress is a killer, right? Especially us men. We know because it's a big killer for us. Anxiety for women, it does cause great reduction in quality of life for them. Be at peace. Trust in the Lord. Try to chase after what is righteous and do it. Envy rots the bones. Yeah. Envy, and you can put resentment in there as another example of things, can eat you up inside. You can become obsessive. You can miss out on many things chasing after something you envy. I want the things that Joe has. So I'm going to do everything it takes to get that, even if it means not appreciating the people and things and experiences I have around me. He who oppresses the poor taunts and insults his maker, and he who is kind and merciful and gracious to the needy honors him. Well, we talked about this earlier. Hating your neighbor, taunt the poor. I'm sorry. Oppress the poor. Thumbing your nose at God. He doesn't want you to do that. That's not your place. In fact, wisdom says, the wisdom of Solomon says, you should do whatever is in your power to look out for those folks. And it follows it right back up. But he who is kind and merciful and gracious to the needy honors him. God has gone out of his way to bless you somehow. Why can't you go out of your way to bless somebody else? You certainly didn't deserve it. God is the reason you ain't poor. So kind of tempting him there. Welcome to the show, Nernath. I didn't even say, hey, good to see you. The wicked is overthrown through his wrongdoing, but the righteous has hope and confidence in a refuge with God even in death. When calamity comes, the wicked are brought down, but even in death, the righteous seek refuge in God. Die peacefully. Somebody, I can die peacefully knowing that I did what I could to be right with God. There are people who make that peace, who are able to see death and accept it because that's where they're at. And there are others who are just wicked and they realize too late, unfortunately, too late, that behavior, that part of their soul isn't what God is looking for. Wisdom rests silently in the heart of one who has understanding, but what is in the heart of short-sighted fools is made known. This is a little bit of being reserved. I'm not telling everybody what your intentions are. It helps you in situations with your enemies, with people you're doing business with, any type of altercation. Help be a little bit better, more discerning. Help people be a little bit more open with you, I think. But if you act foolishly, everybody's going to be able to read you like a book. Righteousness, moral and spiritual integrity, and virtuous character exalts a nation, but sin is a disgrace to any people. Well, you would think. You would think. But you would think some of the some Western nations now are exalted by sin. The opposite is true. But I think when you think of maybe this alleged silent majority in America might find our behavior disgraceful. Pride months, killing or mutilating kids, deifying politicians in our rhetoric, murder, jealousy, everybody chasing what everybody else has. All this stuff, and a lot of the stuff we've talked about in these Proverbs so far, that's disgraceful to them. Seems disgraceful to me. We like seeing the righteous. So the brackets in the Amplified are adding context and translation. Right? It says righteous kind of in that bracket. What righteousness, moral and spiritual integrity and virtuous character. And sometimes just add stuff, extra meaning, I think, for what is being translated. Kind of trying to fill in what might be lost in translation. Sometimes it replaces the word that you read in front or behind it. Sometimes it just adds to it. I wouldn't say replace, but maybe it's defining the word. Like wisdom rests silently. We should be finding value in righteousness, moral integrity, spiritual integrity, virtuous character. All right, last one. Steve said, sorry, been away from the iPad, gonna get a shower. Look, guys, Steve took a spill yesterday and hurt his ankle, foot, ankle area, pretty bad. So let's give him some prayer, send some prayers his way. Let's hope that God helps him ambulate well so that he can do whatever it is he needs to do. Or the foot, okay. There is quick healing. I've had foot pain for almost 20 years now. It is not fun to live with. Hopefully yours is temporary and heals swiftly, buddy. We were going to talk about that yesterday because it happened a little bit before, or I found out about it a little bit before streaming, but storm came through. So we're rooting for you, Steve. Octavia, please do not kick it. If you're still listening, don't kick his foot. All right. Last proverb in 14. And then we'll leave, and hopefully Monday I'll have a better connection. The king's favor and goodwill are towards a servant who acts wisely and discreetly, but his anger and wrath are toward him who acts shamefully. Foreshadowing of a great parable from Jesus. Foreshadowing of a great parable from Jesus. King's favor and goodwill towards a servant who acts wisely and discreetly. Uses discretion. Uses wisdom. Serves him well. A good king, as our God is King of Kings. A good king is favorable to servants who act that way. Shameful acts, doing things that bring shame, reflect shamefully on God, and our actions are a reflection of Him. He is our creator. These actions anger Him. He has told us, He's given us instructions on how we are supposed to conduct ourselves. We've been reading through much of it. When we ignore that, when we forget ourselves and we act foolishly and shamefully, God is upset with us. And a king would be angry and wrathful. So do the right thing. Like Octavia. Be like Octavia. And not kicking her dad's broken, swollen, painful foot. It's like he said, third worst pain behind kidney stone back surgery. Look, all right. Let me tell you, Steve. I've got what is not. I do not have plantar fasciitis. I have what is called pes planus. I have fallen arches. My arches are constantly in pain. It's a very different injury than what you're dealing with. Yours is much more acute. Mine is much more of a dull, chronic ache now. Happened in the Army. Still hurts. Even when most of the time it's okay with orthotics, but even sometimes with orthotics still hurts. Cannot stand it. I do never been comfortable with somebody. The real remedy is to is surgery. And I really don't want anybody going in there and possibly messing it up worse or causing other problems. And Nernance says, Octavia sounds like a Roman patricians of Caesar's daughter. What helps that Steve has a little of the Italian in him. All right, folks. We're going to call it a week. I'm glad we were able to get through 14. Took us all week to get through it. We're glad we were able to get to it. We'll start Monday off with 15. And we'll be about halfway through Proverbs next week. Nernea said, recommend Merrill shoes. I use Naotes. My brand of choice is Naotes. Let me pull one of these babies up. Very comfortable shoe. This particular shoe I've had for 10 years. They're expensive. This was about $200 10 years ago. But I have worn them often. These just died on me. This is I actually haven't tossed these yet. I need to go get some more. I've got 4 pairs of different pairs. 4 pairs of them. They were recommended to me by I have a shoe guy, a foot guy who I have to travel about 40 minutes to get to him, but these have been some great. Oh, you can't see it. All right. Hang on. Well, there we go. I said these are old. They are. They have served me very well. And I need to get another one style just like that. I've got all of them are different styles. All the ones. I take that back. I've got some lace Naotes that are the same ones. One is a black, kind of velvety suede fuzz to it, and the other one's a brown. But they look professional. They feel great. But that one, that particular model has been the most comfortable. But you can't run in them. Oh, thought of bringing up the web page? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can do that. Now, these used to be made, actually, coincidentally, in Israel. I don't know if they still are. Actually, let me bring them up on a different. Men. They still make them. This model. It's been very popular. There's sandals. Don't care about sandals. Care about the shoes. They do still make them. All right, here we go. It is. No, I don't care. All right, so I have these in black. They're pretty good. These are my favorites. They're a little bit more expensive than they used to be. Yeah, this is the one I have excited. This is like a soft. This is leather, and then the soft like velvety part. But it's just something in there is just fantastic. It's got great midsole support in there. And the other style I've got, let's see if they might not make it anymore. What's close? Is it the Chief? Yeah, there it is. Okay, the Chief. I've got this one and this one. That's right. It does have a little bit of brown on it. This one and this one. Um, these are sticker shock. I know it ain't easy to drop $200 on a pair of shoes. But like I said, that first pair I wore, been wearing them for 10 years. Resold them 3 times from the same guy I bought them from. They are, and I'm talking about like every day. Like I swap these out. I don't put anywhere near. I'm out in the field a little bit more now, but when I was in the office every day, that pair of shoes I wore and a pair of Skechers that for the brown pair I showed you that were my favorites were those and a pair of black Skechers, depending on what I was wearing that day, trying to alternate them every single day for the work week. And then Skechers wore out. Skechers were nice, but they didn't have the right support. Skechers wore out. I got the other two, the Chiefs, and 2 years later, and I've had all of these shoes for over 5 years. They have been highly recommend them. Highly recommend them. But like I said, I got a shoe guy, foot guy. He put me on. He goes, you might like these, and he sold me on them. And I'm happy that my wife didn't freak out when I came home, but she knows that she knew at the time that I've been dealing with that for a long time. So, all right. So to Matt Felty, to Steve and Octavia, to Nernaeth, to Jenny, catching us on replay, Alex, who may or may not still be lurking, to Yex, Skibbity and on by, to you folks. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for bearing with this as we have dealt with connectivity issues and the like. Me in a white t-shirt day. It's not because of work. This is actually because I was trying to get my youngest down. She is still struggling with sleep. If you could send, I could appreciate some prayers for her to get through this teething phase that she has been in for several months. And get some peace when she sleeps. That are great. Mine started in the Army too, Matt. Mine started in the Army too. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for bearing with me. Thank you guys for for helping me out and get through, finding things like in Bible Gateway, little tools like that, your Nath for some of your translations, and takes on this. Great. Thanks, guys. To everybody who's listening and not commenting, I don't know if there's any of you guys here tonight, but if you are, thank you. Just glad that you're tuning in and finding something that you keep coming back to. Look, if you guys like the episode, like it. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you want to be notified, hit the notification bell. Be great. Best way to help the show, talk to other people about it. To everybody who is catching this on replay, thank you for watching. Sorry I missed you, and hope to catch you live sometime. Everybody have a good weekend. Be good, be safe, be productive, be relaxed. Go to church. Enjoy your time, and God bless.